Te non hai bisogno, perché per il mister se c'è qualche domanda in fretta. Buongiorno a tutti, conferenza stampa.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome along to this pre-match press conference ahead of Milan against Paris Saint-Germain. We're in the company of head coach Stefano Pioli and goalkeeper Maignan. We'll start with Milan TV. Good afternoon to both. A quick question for both of you. What Milan showed in their most recent matches, particularly in the last game, was not sufficient, unfortunately. What do Milan need to add to their recent performances? First and foremost, we disappointed our fans and ourselves on Saturday. That's fairly clear. What do we need to do? The opposite. That's fairly easy, but we need to then show that out there on the pitch. I know that I'm coaching a very responsible, switched-on team that has a lot of desire and quality, and I'm sure they're capable of producing a great performance. Question for Mike. Hi, Mike. This is the third Champions League campaign you've been involved in with Milan. In previous editions, Milan have always got more points in the second three matches. Can they do it again this time? Absolutely. We're working hard to react, to try and rediscover our best level. Last season, we made it to the semi-finals. We've made a bit of a slow start this season, but we want to go through in the last three matches, make it through to the knockout stages. A question for both. Hi, Stefano. Hi, Mike. Tomorrow needs to be the turning point, doesn't it? In terms of the Champions League, absolutely. We can no longer hope for opposition sides to get positive results. We need to start getting points ourselves. It will be a very difficult match because we're up against top-class opposition, but we have the scope to produce a top performance because we've got the right ideas, we've got top players, and we can cause problems for our opponents. So we need to keep believing from the first to the last whistle. A question for Mike. Mike, you came through the PSG Academy. This is a team that you know well, and you played against them in the reverse fixture. How can you beat this Paris Saint-Germain side? How can you stop Kylian Mbappe? Sure, they are a very good team, but we're also a good side as well. We need to put into our performance what we're able to do, what we've worked on to try and win this match. It will be a very difficult game, not only for us, but for them as well. We're at home and we need to give 100%. A question for Mike. Mike, as a goalkeeper, you always have a good view of the pitch. What have you seen that you've been missing in recent weeks compared with the sharp Milan side from the start of the season? And is there any advice you'd like to give your teammates from your vantage point? What I see on the pitch, I talk about with my head coach and the players and my teammates when we watch back over games and when we have team meetings. I think we need to try and rediscover our self-confidence. We need to find that determination. We need to show what we're able to do. And when we do so, if we can harness all of those qualities, we can perform well. Sky for Mike Maignan. It will be a particularly special match for you. How will you experience the game against Paris Saint-Germain? First and foremost, because of what happened on Saturday evening, because the San Siro crowd booed and whistled you, but also because, as you mentioned earlier, you came through the academy. I'm sure this is a very special fixture for you. At this moment in time, there's no place for emotions. There are no emotions. We need to give 100%. We know what we want to do. We know that we need to play a performance worthy of Milan. No scope for emotions. We need to play our own football. A question for the head coach. Why have Milan collapsed over the last month? I think we have been a little bit unlucky in terms of some of our results where we deserved more. I'm referring to Juventus and Napoli, and we haven't necessarily produced performance levels that have been up to scratch in terms of what we can do and what we wanted to do. Hi, Stefano. A question for you. I wanted to ask you, what have you learnt from the reverse fixture in Paris that you mustn't allow to happen again tomorrow? What's the main lesson that you learnt on that evening? That we need to stay very focused and switched on. We need to be very switched on in both phases of the game, because PSG can hit you at any moment because of the pace and quality of their forwards, but they're also a team that can allow you some space, and we need to be more clinical, more effective to hit them when certain situations arise, and we saw some of those in the reverse fixture. Hi, Stefano. Two quick questions about your preparation for this match. In terms of mental preparation, anyone besides you, have they spoken, and what has been said, and has it been a different preparation compared with other ones? And tactically, are there two things that you need to change, or what do you think? We have been working and speaking to each other, match day -1. I have spoken, they have spoken amongst themselves, but that often happens, and that's often the case when it's a tight-knit, united squad, and they know they need to come through a tricky moment in this season, because we haven't won a match for 2 weeks now. It's a fortnight since our last victory. Our preparation has been all about concentration with the right desire to try and produce a big performance tomorrow. I don't think we have allowed a number of 1v1 situations in the first half. I think we were very compact. We won the ball back a great deal. And when we conceded the goal, I think we weren't very switched on, but I think we had enough players behind the ball to double up on Mbappe. But I think we need to be very switched on tomorrow against PSG in these situations. Hi, Mike. I'm right at the back here. I wanted your opinion on Gigi Donnarumma's start to the season. What sort of reception do you expect him to get tomorrow when he comes back to Milan? I'm going to start with the reception. I don't know. I don't know. We know that he didn't leave the club on good terms, so our supporters are very passionate. And I think it's going to be a pretty tricky reception for Donnarumma. As for his start to the season, he's a top-class goalkeeper. He's doing what he does best. And what was your question? It was quite a long one. No, he's had a good start to the season. He's a good goalkeeper. He's a world-class keeper. And he's doing what he does best. And he keeps proving that game in, game out.
L'equipe, grazie. Valentin.
I'll start with the head coach. Hi, Stefano. This is a new Milan side with new tactical instructions. Do those also impact Mike? Mike is always at the heart of our tactical instructions, because in modern football, being able to build up from the back, having a goalkeeper that can read the game well, a goalkeeper that makes the best initial choice is very important. And Mike is top class on that, not only in that area, but he's certainly worked a great deal in that area. He's improved a great deal, and he gives us a lot of guarantees. Is a safe pair of hands. Hi, Mike. I wanted to ask you what you've made of your start to the season personally, and what you can contribute to Milan so that you can come out of this negative run. Of course, it's not the start to the season that I expected. It's not been a bad start to the campaign either, by any means. The best is yet to come. As to what I can contribute to Milan, it's what I'm able to do, being decisive, winning matches, staying a leader and making match-winning saves.
Okay. dietro a Valentin Paoluzzi e poi andiamo da Cuomo Tele Lombardia.
Hi, Stefano. There's always very little time to prepare for such important fixtures such as these. I wanted to ask you if you've had enough time to actually digest the disappointment of Saturday night. What's the overriding feeling that you've seen in your players, and what's yours as well, because you experienced it together? The overriding feeling, and it's the way it should be in terms of me and the players, is we want to prove that we're not that performance from Saturday. We disappointed the fans who've always supported us, and if they booed us, that means we were pretty poor, and we're aware of that. And that's why tomorrow we have the opportunity to put things right and start playing like Milan again. Mike, you can see your leadership simply in your eyes. Do you feel the new Ibrahimovic in the dressing room, and how much do you miss Ibrahimovic, given that's very topical? No, I'm not the new Ibra. No, I'm Mike. Ibra's Ibra, and he has his character. I have my own character. I do what I know how to do. I don't try and take on a role that isn't mine. I'm a natural leader, and I always try and give my best to help the team and to move forward. Do you miss Ibra? We've lost Ibra, so we lost a leader, sure. But we now have a very strong squad with other leaders, and we need to move forward. I've got a great deal of respect for Ibra, but Ibra's no longer here, and the past is behind us. Hi, Stefano. Are you wary that the reception for Gigio Donnarumma tomorrow evening could actually distract the fan base and the supporters in terms of the support that you expect to be very passionate for the team? No, I think the fans will do everything to get behind the team and encourage us, provided that we can produce a Milan performance, because that's always been the case, and our supporters have great passion and love for the team, but it depends on us. We need to take the fans with us. We need to make sure that San Siro is a very positive place to be, and it can give us the edge. Hi, Mike. You're up against Mbappe tomorrow night. You know him very well. You're a teammate of his in the French national team. He beat you at your near post. Keepers struggle with that. What would you say? How can you actually stop his effort at the near post? It is as hard as that to keep it out. Kylian is a top-class, world-class player. He's got a lot of attributes. He's very difficult to read. He has scored a number of goals at the near post, and even though we know that you need to respect things, you know, if you can't necessarily cheat on that near post. So you need to respect the game, and of course you need to try and stop him, counteract him. You have to try and anticipate certain moves, even though you know it's very quick, but you need to try and give everything in your power. A question for Mike Maignan. Hi, Mike. You're a hugely important player at Milan. You're rated by everyone in and around the club. Are you already speaking to the club about staying for a number of years at Milan and to renew your contract, given that you're such a significant piece in this team? I like Milan. Everyone knows here at the club that I like the club. We haven't started to speak about contract negotiations, but for both me and the club, neither of us think it's the right time just yet. Hi, Gaffer. You heard those boos on Saturday evening, but in the two following days, everyone has said, Pioli's backed, Pioli's backed, Pioli's backed. Have you had anything said to you by Furlani and Moncada? And a quick question to Maignan after that. I think in times such as these and situations such as these, talk is cheap. It's all about walking the walk. I don't want to be repetitive, but the club really is doing everything in its power to make sure I can work in the best possible conditions to provide me with a competitive team. And if we have produced under par displays recently, then that's on me. But I will focus on working hard, preparing the game. I can do absolutely everything to best prepare the match because I have everything I need to do so. Very quick question to Mike. Hi, good afternoon. You're one of the best goalkeepers in the world, there's no doubt about that, but you have had some injuries over the last 2 years and that has hampered your performance levels. Is it an aim of yours to become the best goalkeeper in the world and win the Lev Yashin Award? And could you perhaps become the first Ballon d'Or winner as a goalkeeper? Is that one of your personal goals? When you have goals, how can I put it? When you have a lot of mental strength, every day you train to try and win absolutely everything there is to win. Of course, if I could one day win the Yashin Trophy or the Ballon d'Or, whatever it might be, if I can win it, then I'll go and try and do so. That's what I'm training to achieve. Of course, it is in my mind that I can win absolutely everything there is to win. Good afternoon. A question for the head coach. You said there was very little difference with PSG in the first half in terms of the reverse fixture, but I wanted to ask you, why do you think, in terms of bridging the gap, some of your key players, what have you made of the development of those players over the last few years? So the real match winners that can go on to become world-class players, have they kicked on as you expected consistently, or have you expected them to develop a bit quicker than this? Have they slowed down? What are they missing? No, they are continuing to develop. I understand who you're referring to, and it is above all those players that need to help us to reach that level in matches such as these. There are questions like Maignan who can actually help us to reach the summit of the Champions League. They're top-class players. They must help us, and I'm sure they'll try and do that tomorrow night. Good afternoon, Stefano. In the last 2 training sessions, we've seen that Christian Pulisic, Samuel Chukwueze and Theo Hernandez are all in full training. Are they able to start the game tomorrow night? They're fit. Of course, they haven't played as much, Chukwu in particular, because he got injured in the international break, but he's been training with the team for the last 2 days. I think Pulisic will start and Chukwueze will be ready to come on to replace him should we need so. A question for Mike and one to Stefano Pioli. Mike, in the reverse fixture, the game for you didn't finish 3-0. It was 1-1 because Mbappe scored against you, but you produced perhaps one of the best saves since you've been at Milan. Do you hope it will finish 1-1 in the sense that Mbappe won't shoot again, or do you want to play a starring role in a match like that, or would you rather be kept quiet? No, for you, it was 1-1. We lost 3-0. You play 11 against 11 in football matches, but it was a nice save. Yeah, okay, that's what I work to do. That's my job. If it's a 1v1 against Mbappe or whoever plays, I need to stop the ball, I need to keep it out, I need to do my best. That's why I'm in this team, otherwise I wouldn't play. And a question for Stefano. In the first half against Napoli, it was like a shining light, and I said, this is a team that can beat Paris Saint-Germain. If you were to repeat the first half display against Napoli, can you beat Paris Saint-Germain? If we played like that for 90 minutes, yes, we have a good chance of doing so. Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. All the best.